And then she was all about that girl. And now she's trying her damnedest to like get in that girl's pants. And I'm like, Caitlin, what are you doing with your life, fam? Hello, all you beautiful bastards, and welcome to episode 3 of the Thought Patrol Podcast. We have a smaller party today. It is just, we are back to me and Shawn, because everyone else has left us and moved on to better things. So, how you doing, Shawn? How was your week? Have you been playing any games?
I have been playing games, both new and old.
Give me a rundown. What you been enjoying?
I enjoyed not enough to keep playing right now, but I enjoyed Prey right before I gave it to my daughter. And that's out, and she's playing the shit out of that, and she's liking it. I think it's pretty interesting, and I like it more than Bethesda's other outings. And I've been playing more of Neverwinter, and I've been doing a lot of the indie games because I've got like 40 of them on PSN. So I've been doing a lot of the little indie games and puzzle games and stuff like that. I'd have to pull up my list to see all of them. I've almost done no AAA titles except for Neverwinter and Prey.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been playing a bit of... Well, that's bullshit. The only Prey I've played is the demo. I have the game. My sister played it a bit. She played for like 15, 20 minutes, died, and then she's like, I'm going back to Persona 5. And I'm like, okay.
That's on the game. It does give you a lot of incentive to come back to it. It's kind of like, it really feels like the kind of game where I would play it a couple hours here and there. I don't feel driven to continue with it. It just doesn't suck you in like Dead Space does, or Half-Life, or even BioShock even. And I've told you before, Prey feels to me like a precise fusion, 2/3 BioShock, 1/3 Half-Life. But it seems to lack the charm from both games. I can't exactly put my fingers on it. It's a good game. I like it. I have no problem playing it. I enjoy playing it. I just don't love it. And I can't tell you why. I guess it's kind of dry, but that's kind of a Bethesda trademark anyway.
Well, yeah, I love Arcane Studios as a whole. I love their games. I love the Dishonored series. I like the way they design their games. I like the worlds that they build their games in. I haven't played, like I said, I only played the demo for Prey, but from what I've seen, I think I'm going to enjoy it. People are saying it's a horror game. I don't really treat it as a horror game. I feel it more of like a adventure thriller, kind of. I mean, they do have the little jump scares with the spider guys in the mix, but
sci-fi horror. Yeah, you have science fiction movies that are also horror.
Yeah, I guess.
I agree with your earlier assessment. It feels more science fiction than horror.
Yeah. I love the soundtrack, the music that plays in that initial scene.
Good. Holy crap, it's so good.
Oh my God. Even like when you get something new, there's that little jingle that plays every time you pick up a weapon. And it's so like that what's the word I'm trying to think of? That production value there. I like it a lot.
It's very nostalgic.
Oh yeah, that too.
They're trying to do is they're trying to channel like the sci-fi movies from the 80s. They got this whole,
it feels like that a lot.
Science fiction soundtrack, very analog synth, these sweeping sounds. It's really well done. I honestly, it's my favorite. I know Bethesda didn't technically make the game, but if I was to count this officially as a Bethesda game, it's my favorite Bethesda soundtrack thus far. And that counts beyond Skyrim, because there's only so many times I can hear the Skyrim music before it's annoying. Unless it's got those goofy lyrics, then it's awesome.
Yeah, the only thing I remember from Skyrim, I don't know why I said Skyrim. From Skyrim is the theme song.
Again.
I think that's the only thing that anyone keeps with them is the theme song. Nothing else.
And orange. Don't forget the helmet and the arrow thing.
Oh yeah. Borf.
Yes, God, he wants to be part of the show, apparently. So, everyone, this is Zim. Zim, say hi. See, now he's shy.
Okay. So, yeah, that's what I play that. Been playing a lot of Persona 5. Still going through, getting work done. We're working on 50 hours in, but I'm playing on hard. I am that masochistic son of a bitch that there's
masochistic.
There's literally no reason besides the fact that you could say you played on hard. Because I was talking, first of all, I thought there was difficulty achievements in Persona 5. There are not. And I found that.
Hey, now he wants to join.
I found that the hard way, and well, I found it out, yeah. But that and the fact that it can be changed at any time in game, I also didn't know that either. But again, I'm gonna keep it at hard since I'm already almost halfway through the game already. I think I might as well just stick it out. And I've been going through. I just started the 4th palace. I finished the 3rd one. The 3rd one, the end of it was a bitch, especially on hard. And it's just like, if you make one mistake and then your character, or there's an enemy you're fighting that's not debuffed, or you didn't get your rotation of buffs set up properly, or you didn't get an ambush and you actually got attacked, or you do one mistake, it's might as well just accept the game over, or you just take heavy hits to your team and you lose shitloads of health. It's insane.
Persona's always been cheap like that. But the thing that bothers me about the game, or how it's evolved, because they've all kind of gotten into this scissors, paper, rock meta, where you've got originally with the old ones, you had it was a typical like fire hurts water, water hurts lightning, whatever, that kind of thing. And they had the elements, and I think they had like 2 additional elements. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I played the first few games. I'm one of the few people I know that actually played the second one, but the rest of the game had strategy with placement, like where your characters were standing, and there were relationship things, and there was a whole bunch of other depths and complexities that were with it. They weren't nearly as deep in terms of the relationships and stuff that have been in the recent games. But the one thing that got me was the combat wasn't all just scissors, paper, rock. And when I played 5, was it 5? 4? 4?
4.
The one that I always end up calling 5?
Yeah, 4 has the same thing as 5 with the way the elements go and stuff.
Yeah, but it's more than that. I mean, it everything revolves around it now. Like before, you could go through combat, and there were other things besides the scissors, paper, rock with the elements. It was a little bit more like your traditional JRPG, Final Fantasy kind of thing, and there were blunts in piercing and different things like that things were susceptible to. And now it's all like you have to find its weakness and attack with its weakness. It's almost a waste of time to attack with any other kind of attack unless it's OP. And it's so frustrating to me that all of the combat revolves around that. Like outside of that, those games are nearly perfect. All of the Shin Megami Tensei games I adore. But it seems like Persona especially revolves around that kind of that meta, and that I just wish they would add something just a little different, outside of that. I think the games, I'm starting it tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, you are? Well, finally.
Yeah, I'm finally
Bro,
started tomorrow.
It is so fucking good. I can't praise the game enough, and I understand where you're coming from with the rock paper scissors thing, because I see it a lot. Because if you especially on a harder difficulty, it becomes more vital than it would be on normal, because you don't take as much punishment for deciding to stay out of the meta. But I'll get in, and the hardest parts of the palace are the beginning and end. Because the beginning, you're figuring out what's weak to what, you're getting everything set up, and then once you kind of have a plan where you can go out. What are you doing, bro?
What? But what's the last part?
Nah, especially when you like you're going out and you're learning all these weaknesses, and you figure out a plan to dispatch each group of enemies. Once you figure that out, you're good for a while. Eventually run into like a little mini boss that will kick your ass and stuff, and you got to figure out how to do that. I've always had a problem, but it makes sense because it kind of be cheap, is like for status, like if you're trying to inflict an ailment, right? Like forget, dizzy, confused, anything like that, to make a fight a bit easier. If you're against something that's not like a normal mob, like a boss, impossible to inflict ailments on it. And that it rubs me the wrong way, because some of my builds are based around ailments, especially on hard. You need like Forget, which prevents enemies from using their skills, is one of like your best friends throughout the game, because you need that shit to make sure they don't cast any AoE spell that will basically come close to wiping your entire team. And having that Forget makes it so useful. And I have one persona that's completely built around Forget, and he's like my tank persona. But like when then you run into a boss that doesn't have a weakness and can't inflict ailments, and I'm like, shit. I mean, eventually you get other ways. You could just run buff rotations, debuff him to hell, and then just punch him until he dies, pretty much, with your little
like an MMO,
your little boxing gloves. You know? Again, the game's like a different beast on each difficulty. Like my sister's, I mean, she has problems too, but it's her first Persona game, and she's not really into JRPGs, so it's not something she deals with a lot. So doesn't have that like strategy aspect that comes with it. That like being a veteran of those games, like looking at it that way.
Yeah.
She loves the game. Like oh my gosh, she's so stupid sometimes. Like she first started, and you play as the main character is a male. You can't switch that. She has no problem with that. I'm not saying anything like that. But she started, and she first wanted to be with what's her name? Anne, the blonde girl. Then eventually she met another girl. And she's like, no, this is my favorite character. I must become as close to her as possible. I have to do that. I have to do this. I have to do that. What is she like? What are her favorite gifts? What confidant is she, so I could max her out and stuff? And she's like Googling appropriate answers that you could say during the events. I'm like, Caitlin, it's a game. And then I feel her though, because I'm getting close to unlocking the character I want to max out. Or, well, it's weird because it's good to max out every character. And from what I've heard from other people, it's possible to platinum the game in one run if you like maximize your time and the time you spend doing certain things. You can get everything completed in one run. It's difficult, and you have to have that mindset from the beginning, but it is possible. I'm at that point in time, since I'm already halfway through and I haven't been thinking about it at all. I just wanted to enjoy it my first run. I'm probably gonna have to play through it again and do all that. But it's just so funny.
It's strange that we've evolved to the point where even I'm the same way, man. Like the strategy, or not the strategy, but the game playing experience used to be just pick up the game and play it, and then there were a few secrets here and there, but now there's so many branching paths and so many secrets, and you invest so much time into a game, and people don't want to play a game twice back to back. They want to get the whole experience and then kind of let the game, at least me, let me rephrase. I don't want to play a game twice back to back. I want to play it, get the whole experience, forget about it for like 4 years, and then go back and play it again, like reading a book. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've played all the Final Fantasies. I know those games backwards and forwards, and I still have just as much fun playing them. I'm playing Final Fantasy VII again on the PSN. I do like 15 minutes here and there. I haven't put it in like, days like I used to, but I love to do that. But I don't want to miss things and then wait 4 years to freaking see those things again.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
But in these games, it's like next to impossible to do that. And if you're using a strategy guide, it's not fun. It's work.
Definitely. Yeah, it's more of just, that's the problem I have. Like, I love the trophy system or achievements in general. I enjoy that. Not everyone does, but I like going for platinums. Now it takes a special game to do it, because I'm not going to do it for Prey. I did it for Nier because I enjoyed Nier so much, and I'm just like, I even went back and I'm trying to play through the game again on very hard, which is like the one-shot mode where if you take any damage, you just fall over and die. I've gotten a couple hours in. I got through the tutorial at least, and I'm doing that. The problem with the tutorial is you have like this huge set of time, almost half an hour to 45 minutes that you sit and you go through like 2 boss fights and all these ads, and you have no time you save. You don't get to save until almost an hour into the game. So if you take any form of damage at any point, and you're already like half an hour in, your ass is restarting back at the beginning of the start of the game. There's nothing you can do about it. That's more like old
school gaming.
Yeah, it's crazy. Nier is such an excellent. I loved every minute of that game. I love the story. I love the characters. I love the game design, the way they did all the fights. It's such an ode to older games. You could tell the love that they put into that game, and that's why I highly regard it as one of my like top 5 games I've ever played. At the top of that, the soundtrack was excellent, and it was enough for me to buy the soundtrack and then buy a separate physical copy of the game to have on my shelf. So
that's fucking weird. And I was going to say that again.
No,
but that was the first thing I said when I played the demo, man. I told you, I was like, dude, this is very much like the best of the PlayStation 2 era games, when they had polished, and even PlayStation 1 before they had the polish and figured out all the polygon and design aspects, where they would shift perspectives, change gaming styles, but it was a seamless transition. It wasn't jarring. You know, it just felt like all part of the game. You did this here, you did this here. It was a lot like when you first played Devil May Cry, or you first played Metal Gear Solid, and you're like, wow, I love how this is so cohesive, and there's all these different elements, and it's just really fun, and it tells an interesting story. And Nier does that. Nier and its predecessor, but even this Nier more so, takes the whole Drakengard formula, turns it on its ear, and it becomes its own beast. Like, it may be a spinoff, but I really don't even look at the Nier games and the Drakengard games as similar to each other. Like, they're very, very different. I really like what they did with Nier. That's what they should have been doing with games for a long time now, and I think they just let it get away from them. And this is like a proof of concept that it can still work.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it doesn't have to be one thing, or it doesn't have to be open world. You can tell it tight in its story. You can funnel players' interest. You can draw them into a story and make what's the word I'm looking for? My vocabulary is fucking failing me for some reason. But, you know, it's very, I don't know. I really love it when they do that. I think it's extremely well done, and they covered all of their bases perfectly.
Yeah,
I agree with you 100%.
Oh, it's so good. I highly recommend it. And now it's on sale. It's for digital. It's like $40 if you're listening. By the time you're listening to this, it should still be on sale. What's today? The 6th? I think it ends on the 8th, because it was on, like, they're having like a Golden Week sale, because it's Golden Week in Japan, which is like it's just like a string of like holidays that they have over there. There's like Showa Day, Children's Day, and it's all string, and they all coincidentally fall into the same week. So they just get the whole week off of school, and they call it Golden Week. And so they're having like a sale off Japanese games on the PlayStation Store, 60 to 80% off, and they have Nier there, and it's only $40 if you're a PlayStation Gold member. So if you're listening to this, I'm probably going to try to get this up. Right now it's Saturday, the 6th of May. I'll try to get this episode up tomorrow. So you'll probably still have some time if you're hearing this. And it's, but it ends on the 8th of May. So I highly recommend picking that up. It's an excellent game.
Dude, I am Setsuna's on the Switch, by the way.
I have it. I've purchased it. I have not played it yet, but I have purchased it. I saw it. I'm like, this would be something I'd love to take on the go, which is weird because it's JRPG, but it's something that I could do, because there's the thing. The Switch has a pretty decent digital store going on. They have some pretty good indie games from what I've seen. Ooh, sorry. So
I want the disc. That's one of the games where I want to buy the hard copy.
Oh yeah. Well, I understand that for the PlayStation, because I'm not going to buy a little microchip thing. So I'd rather have it digitally in that case. But if it was like a disc with a case, then I'd probably get it. Like, they're also bringing, at the end of May, they're bringing Disgaea 5 to the Switch as well. And I started playing that game, and I never finished it. And I'd love to have that on the Switch too. I've heard that was a really good game, so I'm excited for that. And I'm getting that physical copy. I pre-ordered it on Amazon. That should be here at the end of the month. But like, they have a decent Mario Kart recently came out. and I haven't played Mario Kart since the 64. So it's so awesome to see how much that game is like evolved and changed, and how fun it still is to play. And it just gives me all these wonderful, like middle school kind of, which is I'm younger than you, so that might sound weird that like middle school was when I was playing Mario Kart 64. But we had a teacher bring it in, and we had like finals going. Well, we were done with them, but there was nothing else to do. Our teacher brought in a projector and a Nintendo 64, and he had Mario Kart split screen with 4 people being projected onto the wall in his cubicle at school. And we just played Mario Kart for like 2 hours because we had to wait, and everyone was out there testing, but we still had like the weird testing day. So we just had to wait in his room for 2 hours, and that was some of the most fun I've ever had in school, was doing that 4-player Mario Kart, like being projected onto a wall. So it was like this big ass screen. It was so awesome. I love that shit, and I hadn't played in so long, and being able to get it, it looks beautiful. It runs very well on the Switch. I've done 2 players because I only have 2 Joy-Cons, so I don't have like any other extra controllers. But I've done 2 players. I brought it to work and played it at work with some of my coworkers, and it runs well, and it's really pretty. It's very crisp. The screen on the Switch is very nice. I enjoyed my Switch purchase overall. I didn't think I would have liked it. I had a lot going. There was a lot going against it, not a lot of games, all this other shit. But I really enjoyed the purchase in general. I really enjoyed Breath of the Wild. I thought that game was excellent. It definitely runs a lot better on the Switch than it does on the Wii U, and it looks a lot nicer. So that I don't really have any regrets because I technically have 2 copies of Breath of the Wild. I don't really have any regrets in that aspect, and I really enjoy it. I still haven't finished it yet. The only thing I have to do is like keep doing shrines and go fight Ganon and complete all the memories that you do and all that other shit. But I enjoyed Breath of the Wild. Now, I don't think it was worth perfect scores across the board. I have issues with it, but we'll save that for another day because
I may have to buy this software version. I can't see you can import hard copies, but the PS4 doesn't play import games.
What are you talking about?
I am Satsuna. I could have sworn I've seen hard copies of it, but I don't know that there are some.
Huh.
I mean, I show Asian sites that have hard copies and eBay, and they're selling it for $45.75, which isn't a lot for an import. But I don't know that there are PS4 hard copies of it. I'm not seeing much in the way of that. There's a hard copy in Japan for the Switch.
That's interesting. Yeah.
That's weird.
The Switch is not region locked, so it will work with the Switch. So that's pretty cool.
And it's got an English setting, which is weird. The Japanese one has an English setting because I found that on accident.
Yeah, it does sound pretty weird. So yeah, enjoying Persona. Awesome game. Nier was awesome. Prey's cool. I need to get into it. I was about to, and then I forgot. Oh shit, we got to do the podcast. So we're doing that now.
I'd say cool is the best word for Prey.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything new. Everything that you do in Prey, you've done in BioShock or Half-Life. Half-Life's got the multiple approaches to a situation idea. So did Red Faction to a degree, but that was more or less multiple approaches. Do I blow my way through the wall or through the door? Like they possibly could have come out wrong. I'm gonna have to buy the digital version. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the.
Damn,
that's disappointing. But I think Prey is just real. It's all polish and coolness.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, so cool. I guess we'll go ahead and we're gonna start talking about some news that's been happening over the past week. Some things I've pulled up. I was doing some research, just some interesting articles that we've looked through. For the past week of gaming and news in general. And we have our first little article I found. This is from GameSpot, as always. And this is by Alex Newhouse on GameSpot. And it says, there is an Overwatch play of the game ad that was made for the South Korean presidential candidate. Now, this is just something silly I found, and I thought it'd be interesting to talk about. But Overwatch and is very big in South Korea. Usually competitive games like League of Legends, CSGO, Overwatch. I don't know about CSGO too much. I'd assume so. But games like that, they South Korea loves them. They're big fans of any competitive game that falls into the market. So this is what again, this is by Alex Newhouse of GameSpot. The article says, Overwatch showed up in political ads for the first time last year when a group run by Cards Against Humanity bought billboards to call Donald Trump a Hanzo main.
What? Wait, what?
I didn't read the article before we started. What? Oh my God. Okay. But a South Korean presidential candidate has taken it one step further, creating a campaign ad in the style of a play of the game clip. Interesting. The video comes from what appears to be her official YouTube channel. Although we haven't been able to confirm if her campaign is responsible for the video, she's currently running against several other candidates to take over from Park Geun-hye, I don't know how to pronounce that, who was impeached and removed from office on corruption charges. The presidential election will be held on May 9th. Since its launch last year, PS4, Xbox One, and PC, Overwatch has become something of a cultural force. In addition to being used in political ads in the United States and South Korea, Overwatch has given rise to memes, and viral stories such as the girl who used Hanzo main as an insult in school. Yeah, I also heard about that. They had, I saw it, it was on the internet. It's like this girl, she got like detention because on the detention slip, it was like detention or something. And on the detention slip that she received, the parents got it, and it said that she got in trouble for like writing on the she called some other kid like a Hanzo main, and the kid cried. I don't know if he understood what it meant or just the way she said it made him feel bad, but she like but like no one likes snipers in Overwatch. There's like a huge stigma against them. Because every time someone picks one, they not necessarily do they always do good. It's much different on PC than it is on console. We usually play on console, and I've heard that Overwatch is a completely different beast on PC. But if you're on like attack and your teammate drops that Widowmaker pick in your competitive match, you're gonna get a little bit of salt going on right off the bat. And not everyone takes it too well, especially if you have a microphone. You have people calling each other names and stuff like that. But it's so big.
Jonathan.
Jonathan would lose his mind. It's such a big, like in general, the community for it. There's so many people that know about it. It's so crazy to see it. And then now it's being used for political purposes, although it has been used before. I had never heard about that thing with. They bought a billboard to call Donald Trump a Hanzo main. That threw me for a spin when I read that. But it
would have been worse if they called him a Widowmaker main.
I think
Hanzo's a halfway decent character.
Yeah, I'd say so. But yeah, I found that pretty weird. So I thought that was interesting. I watched the video too. It was cool. Oh my God.
He's a Torbjorn main.
Oh yeah, Torbjorn. That's where it's at. Hard work, Basil.
Hard work, Basil.
There it is. The same exact time.
My turret.
Oh my God, he's like hearing his sound bites like just triggers me. I'm like, oh God, I'm back
he's
in.
A funny character. He's just not. He's not. I don't know. They nerfing him on consoles, I think, was a mistake because he's really not terribly viable. If you get somebody who's just ridiculously badass or has that, cheaty keyboard connection thing, he'd probably be massively different. But
I think he still holds up pretty well. I think he can be used effectively. It's just like a niche pick. Like he has moments where he can shine, but it's not like you could just pick him and throw him in any comp and he'll excel like certain other characters can. So, all right, so let's go on to the next article. We have These are new details on Nintendo's summer 3DS releases. Now, with the Switch, Nintendo they're still going to support both systems, both the 3DS and the Switch, which I find it odd. I think it's mostly because the 3DS still probably had games in development when the Switch was released, but it just sounds, I don't know, it's like weird to think that they have the Switch, it's a mobile thing, it's being marketed as a mobile thing, like take it around, go do stuff while you're out. And then they had the 3DS, which serves the same exact purpose. So they're technically like splitting almost their what's the word? Starts with a D. Damn. Well, they're like splitting
marketing, splitting their energy.
What? It's a D word. I keep thinking domestic, but that's not the word. Oh my gosh. I'm drawing a blank here. You know what I'm trying to say? Like their target, whatever, their target audience. I'm gonna say that. Demographic. There you go. Thank you. They're like you'd think they're splitting their demographic because they're still supporting the 3DS, although a lot of people have a 3DS. And I'm assuming the reason they're still going to support it is because it's so popular. I can't imagine
it's been profitable, but it's been losing ground for years. It's still profitable, but not nearly so much as it was the year prior or the year prior to that. It's been exponentially sliding down.
Yeah, but
the frustrating part for me is the fact that they abandoned the Wii U so early. It's a good system. It's got a wonky controller, but when you plug the Pro controllers in, it's a powerful enough system to create solid games. They were one of the first consoles to fully embrace the indie market. It just didn't make sense to me what they did. I hate the fact that they abandoned it so early.
They're looking at it.
I want to know how long the eShop on there is going to be valid, because there's so many good titles on the Wii U that are either retro titles or they're independent titles, and they're good titles, and I want time to be able to get them before the system's fucking gone. I mean, I don't have that many games for it, but I still want them. I want to get the double pack for Bayonetta. I'd love to play Bayonetta again. I heard this superior version on that system. You know, it's very frustrating to me that the Wii U went down the way it did, and that people didn't give it a chance, and that developers didn't want to write for it because it was different.
Well, they're also looking at it in a business aspect, because they know their numbers. Obviously, they know that the Wii U did not sell well. They know it was technically a failure of a system comparatively. Although Nintendo hasn't necessarily done good, but the Wii U was probably one of their worst selling systems that they've ever released. They knew that there weren't a lot. I can't imagine them wanting to put effort into it when they know, like, you could make an excellent game for the Wii U. You could have an awesome game for the Wii U, but the fact that the Wii U has only sold so many copies, right away, that instantly cuts your profit, because you could only sell it so many times because not many people have the console. So the moment that I can understand why they would drop it, especially since the way the Switch's launch went, it went so well. And I have an article we'll talk about in a bit that has more of the numbers for it, but it went so well, and it's such a fast selling console that it wouldn't make, from a business aspect, it wouldn't make sense to continue to support the Wii U, just because it was such a, I don't like the word failure. It's a heavy word.
It was a failure, but I don't think it was enough of a failure, number one. And number two, I always trusted Nintendo. And when they came out with that shovelware piece of garbage, the Wii's got good titles on it, but it's got maybe 20 good titles, and you got to hunt for them. A good 3/4 of them are rare. And I mean, not counting the obvious ones like the Mario games, the Mario Kart games. I'm talking about maybe 20 good titles produced by other people, by other companies. All of Nintendo's, well, I'd say all, but the majority of Nintendo's games are vetted so thoroughly, tested so thoroughly. And I mean, they go into these hugely long build cycles just to make sure that they're perfect and that they're going to succeed. what the truest test is when you see other providers. God damn it, I'm talking in fucking cable terms. Other developers dropping stuff on there, other publishers putting stuff on there, and they had good titles. You had that sort of quasi spinoff from the God damn it, Xenogears and the Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah,
the one that's related to the Xenogears saga, the one that transitioned into those other 2 games. It was supposed to be 4 games with the Cosmos and all that. They're all, I think, somehow linked. And I think Shulk was one of the characters in Xenoblade Chronicles. That was good. Last Story was good. That Pandora's Tower was stupid hard, but good. And they had they were just great JRPG. No, granted, I'm referencing only JRPGs here, but there were other really solid titles on the Wii. But even with the weekend, and that really was too weak of a system, and they've been doing that since the GameCube, but they really needed, I don't know, man. To me, they lost something with the Nintendo 64. It wasn't what was advertised, and it was very, and again, I want to have I don't want to spend too much time on this because I do want to have a conversation one time where I will sit back and go over why I still think Nintendo's more of a positive force than a negative one, and what they've done to innovate in the industry, and how everyone else has done nothing but rip them off. But at the same note, I felt I've been consistently betrayed every time they've released a system since the Super Nintendo, and it's no different now. Like I wanted to trust Nintendo. I trusted them enough. I bought my daughter a Wii. I didn't give 2 flying fucks about it. Had some fun games, but they were all Nintendo party games. I played them all. Smash, Mario Kart, etc., and I was done. The 2 Zelda games, boom, I moved on. But the Wii U, I believed in. I invested in it. I said I wasn't going to give them a chance again after the last several systems, and every time I say it, I buy another fucking system, and again, I get betrayed, and I'm done. I'm so over it. I want them back. I want those glory days of Super Nintendo and Nintendo, where Nintendo really was a name for quality. I mean, even if there was a fair share of garbage on there, for the most part, you knew that you were going to be able to find something you could have genuine fun with. But I know I can do that with Sony. There is no doubt in my mind, and it breaks my heart that the only reason that I buy a Nintendo console is praying that there's going to be another Metroid game or another Zelda game or a good Mario game. And that's the fucking whole reason it sits there. And the Wii U, I thought was going to be something different, and nobody fucking bothered. And that wasn't Nintendo's fault. People didn't understand. I don't really blame them, man. They gave you everything that you needed. The developers didn't want to build for it. They didn't know what to do with it. Nobody understood the tablet. Fuck you. These mindless denizens that didn't even bother trying to fucking wrap their head around the idea, and the developers who didn't want to write for it.
Well, again, I'm
tired of it.
If you go back to how, from what I've heard about it, when it was coming out and it was on its way and coming out, a lot of people didn't know what it was, the way it was marketed, because a lot of people, they saw the game, they saw the gamepad, they're like, is that the console? Then they see this other black box, they're like, is that the console? I've heard that as marketing,
answer that question.
I've heard that marketing as whole was one of the aspects that it did not do as well, because again, no one fucking bothered. But one of the reasons was because no one really knew what it was going to be. They thought it was another mobile system. They didn't really care, because the DS was doing good.
Tell me that you were confused by the advertisements.
I didn't know. This is all stuff that I've heard and stuff that I've read on the internet about other people, what they thought about it, because I didn't even hear about the Wii U. I had gotten it way after it launched. I wasn't even in this. I wasn't here, like at home, when the Wii U was released. Was I? Yeah, I was. Never mind.
Their opening night, I called around like I think 32 different GameStops, and I finally found one that had one system left. And I went there like 8 hours ahead of time. I had to sit in line. It was fucking insane, so that I could get the newest system for my daughter. And we played it for a little while. And the moment I picked up a PlayStation 4, that thing's been collecting dust ever since. I can't afford to buy for both systems, so I only buy choice games for each, which is why it took a while since I played the last one. But if they had continued putting games out for it, like a steady supply of games, I would have picked up more shit.
Yeah.
But there's been, I mean, the wall of the Wii U games was like maybe 12 titles thick, top to bottom, in GameStop, and there was never anything new there. They were making new shit, but not much. And how much of it was making it outside of Japan? Nobody made games for it.
Yeah.
Even with the interest, nobody. And when they did shitty ports, or they didn't make use of there's a couple of games that did badass with the gamepad. That Batman Arkham City on the Wii U was fucking awesome.
They had Arkham City on the Wii U.
Gamepad. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was good. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sticking with the PlayStation Arkham games, but I liked how it used the tablet. But what really fucking used the tablet, the best version of Assassin's Creed 3 was on the Wii U. The way that incorporated the tablet was fucking sweet. Those two games did a really good job. And
well, we'll see.
Not many people did.
We'll see what
I'm just crying and whining. I am. It's a fanboy thing. Nintendo raised me back when it was just Sega versus Nintendo, because as you like to rib me every so often, there is somewhat of an age gap between us. And Nintendo raised me. I was raised on NES, and then I was raised on Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo blew my fucking mind. And the depth and complexity of the music, and Nintendo was just always top of the line hardware. 64 came out. It was supposed to be badass. It wasn't. They had weird controllers. They weren't the most accurate controllers. They had fuzzy, grainy, blurry, murky games. The stretched texture thing destroyed it for me. But there were still games I loved on that system, mostly Shadows of the Empire, Zelda, of course, Ocarina of Time, and Mario 64, Mario Kart, and Conker's Bad Fur Day. Out of all of them, Conker's Bad Fur Day to me was like the shining example. And then Majora's Mask, which unfortunately I couldn't get into, but I still enjoyed playing. Odd man out on that one. But I was so betrayed by the ugliness that I just could not. I never looked at Nintendo the same again. And when they released the Wii, I took one look at it, read the specs, and saw how underpowered it was, and I couldn't understand what they were trying to do. And then I figured it out. They weren't trying to target gamers. And the games on it were crap. And it took a long time to get a good set of quality games. And that, to me, was a betrayal of your fan base. You sold us out to get everyone else. And from a corporate perspective, dude, corporations are greed personified. Of course, they're going to do what's for the bottom dollar. They don't care about anything else. But I've watched other companies produce quality systems. The only thing that's disappointing me about Xbox and PlayStation is the x86 thing. I know why they did it. It was a smart business move. I still hate it. I liked it when you made unique hardware, and the one person's unique hardware went against somebody else's unique hardware. It was a combination of the systems fighting each other as well as the titles. Now it's just the titles because the systems are the same.
Yeah, and PlayStation's shitting on Xbox in that regard when it comes to titles.
Yeah, it's really weird that that Xbox has a much better system coming out, the Scorpio, and yet PlayStation is still the place to go.
Yeah,
because of the quality of the writing, which is why Nintendo was on top for the longest, was because they had both, and Sony's lost the crown in Xbox with that Scorpio, and it doesn't fucking matter. I still wouldn't buy the damn thing, and it's a great set of hardware. It just there's not any Xbox games I want to play besides Gears of War and Halo, and I can find a friend who's got those.
Yeah, like that's the one thing I have with the Scorpio as a whole is like you're going to release this awesome ass system for people, and where are the games? Like I can't play Persona 5 like right now. Okay, I say it all the time, but if I had an Xbox this year and I did not have a PlayStation 4, that Xbox would have been sold to go to money to have a PlayStation 4 because of like just in the first quarter alone of this year, all of the excellent games that came out, Horizon, Nier, Persona, although Nier is also on the PC, but although I heard that port wasn't the best, but like the amount
the gameplay still there.
Yeah, the amount of games that just like the PlayStation has been building up in its library on the Uncharted series, the Last of Us series, which another one's coming out soon. Like, I can't think, unless it's some kind of dude that all he does is play Call of Duty or Halo or whatever, I can understand him going to go pick up a Scorpio. Even though, like, you're not really getting anything new, because I'm pretty sure Halo runs at 60 frames on the Xbox. But, and the same thing goes with the 4K gaming. Like, you need to have a TV to apply to that, or else it doesn't matter. And another weird thing about 4K as a whole, you can tell a difference. Obviously, there is one, but it gets to a point, and they've always said this, because they say the same thing with monitors and having over a certain hertz rate. Your eyes, it gets to a point when your eyes don't even distinguish a difference.
So much your eyes can track.
Yeah. So
we're actually hitting the point now where it's difficult to track beyond, 120 hertz refresh, and I don't even remember in terms of the resolution, but you can recognize a certain smoothness, a certain crispness. About now, all they're really getting to the point of is being able to remove the jaggies from the anti-aliasing.
Yeah. Okay, we're going way off topic. Let's finish these articles so we could get on to the main topic, which I had not said yet, but it is. Yeah, okay. You'll see. Everyone would have known from the video title, but we are going to be talking about Destiny 2 today and what we want to see from Destiny 2. What we want to see Bungie implement, and things that we particularly didn't like about the first Destiny. So we'll get on that. So let's finish. We're like on the second article, and we got like 10 of them, and we're already 46 minutes in. So let's go ahead and let's keep going real quick. So Nintendo recently held a preview event in New York where the company demonstrated the side-scrolling Pikmin spin-off, Hey Pikmin, along with the Mii-based RPG Miitopia, providing us with some new information about the upcoming 3DS titles. Blah, blah, blah. These basically, again, we discussed a lot about it, but Nintendo is going to continue to support the 3DS. They have games coming out, and we have this Hey Pikmin, Miitopia. Hey Pikmin is, rather than taking the Pikmin you've amassed with you into subsequent levels, the plant-like minions are deposited in a Pikmin park after each stage. Here you can deploy them to different sections of the park that are littered with elemental hazards, where the Pikmin will gradually clear out while you're exploring other levels. Oh, that's interesting. The amount of time it takes to clear an area of Pikmin Park depends on the amount of Pikmin you have stored there, so the more you assemble, the faster they can complete their tasks. It almost sounds like a mobile game. You can also expedite the process by using a new Pikmin amiibo that releases alongside the title. That, I would love a Pikmin amiibo. I would love a Pikmin amiibo. Just like an amiibo of a singular, or even make one for each type. That'd be so awesome.
Just as long as that little shipwreck doesn't show back up in Smash again.
Yeah. Okay, so also Miitopia, meanwhile, has largely been a mystery ever since the game was first unveiled last November in the Japanese Nintendo Direct. The footage showcased in the broadcast drew comparisons to the quirky 3DS life sim Tomodachi Life. These similarities weren't coincidental. Miitopia has been developed by the team responsible. Basically an RPG, probably won't pick it up, but we know that Nintendo's still putting they're still putting effort into the 3DS as a whole. They're going to still keep it going, keep games. When they did the Nintendo Direct, the release of the Switch, during that news conference, they talked about games that were also coming out for the 3DS as well. So there's
honestly, I'm sorry, but I think honestly, it seems like Nintendo is switching gears with the Switch, and it's even though it's actually just a lower powered, I should say an underpowered portable system that you can dock and watch on your TV and play on your TV. It seems to me like they're treating it like a console system that you can carry somewhere. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're showing so much love to the DS. Either that or there's a back catalog of shit that's made for the DS, because you still have a couple of new games here and there coming out for dead systems like the Wii U and the Vita. I mean, a new game just dropped for the Vita in November, right? World of Final Fantasy. And they just dropped another Shantae game for it, even though Sony's not even supporting the software. They're still doing the PlayStation Plus games. So I don't know. I that's a side thing. I don't even know where the fuck I can into that, but I don't know, man. I think they're still treating I think they're trying to treat, which also makes it sound more premium if you think about it. They're trying to treat it like a console system that you can carry with you, a home-based console, as opposed to it being a portable gaming system with a docking station.
Yeah, we'll see where they go with the Switch in the future. They have some. I'm excited to see the new Mario when that comes out. They're slowly building up an indie market on their digital store, which I'm excited to see. They have a lot of cool games there. I picked up a couple. What was the? Oh man, what was the? Like they have. Crap! I lost my train of thought there. Okay, well I'm excited to see what they continue to do with the Switch. As we move forward, let's also go on to the next article too. Again, we got to power through these. So almost 20 years later, there is now an uncensored Half-Life officially available in Germany. I found this interesting as well. This is by Eddie Makic of GameSpot. And it says an uncensored version of Half-Life is now available for the first time in Germany, a country that has a history. The first game is now available, 2017. For the first time in Germany, a country that has a history of censoring games. People living in Germany can now pick up an uncensored game for free, the uncensored game for free on Steam right now. This uncensored version replaces the original when it's installed. Some things to note is that your progress will remain intact and you'll not be able to revert to the original edited version after making the switch. Up until now, Half-Life was on the list of games considered to be potentially damaging to the country's youth. Red Faction and Fallout 3 were also removed from the list in recent years. Additionally, the government...
Red Faction's awesome.
The German government lifted its ban on Doom in 2011 after 17 years. It's not immediately clear what drove the decision to remove Half-Life from the list. In 1998, Gabe Newell explained in an interview with Link... What? I'm assuming that's a magazine. That the edited version of Half-Life for Germany replaced blood with oil and human characters with robots to comply with Germany's rules.
What?
Some games remain edited in Germany. For example, the German version of Wolfenstein, Nazis are called the regime and no swastikas are shown. So that's interesting. I didn't know that they replaced the human models with robots. Imagine Half-Life where everything you're killing is a robot.
Never heard that. That's hilarious. Earth is populated by robots, huh?
I guess so. It's definitely interesting. So I'm assuming you're still killing aliens too, but the military that gets sent in is like robots instead. I have no idea. That sounds very interesting though. I can understand that the swastika censoring, although
they've always done that. You can't even say Nazi in the streets without getting in trouble sometimes. Like any kind of Nazi stuff, anything like that, that's problematic. And it's dealt with immediately and harshly, as if I remember correctly. I've had some friends that were stationed there, and they told me horror stories.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Okay, we're going to continue moving on. We have a new Overwatch event could celebrate the game's anniversary. Someone has data mined the newest PTR update and found references to a new event. This is by Eddie Makic of GameSpot again. And it says, with the first anniversary of Overwatch's release coming up soon, it seems like that Blizzard would celebrate that milestone with something in the game, but the developer has yet to announce any plans to do so. Someone has data mined the game's newest PTR update on PC and discovered what could be references to the next event. Oh, excuse me. Reddit user Failcraft did the digging, discovering references to Event 6 for all characters as well as new cosmetic items. More maps are apparently referenced as well, though it's possible that these could be new versions of existing maps instead of brand new ones. Failcraft goes over his findings in his YouTube video on his page. Given the popularity of Overwatch's previous events, it would be no surprise at all to learn that another one is in the works. Overwatch launched on May 24th, so if this is an anniversary event, it could be coming up soon. In April, Overwatch game director Jeff Kaplan confirmed that there are 3 new standard maps in the works that could launch this year. Additionally, 3 non-standard maps are in development as well. The latest Overwatch seasonal event was Uprising, which wrapped up recently. The previous ones were Summer Games, Halloween Terror, Winter Wonderland, and Year of the Rooster. Overwatch has been a big hit. We talked about this a bit last week, but it passing 30 million players by Blizzard's latest count and an earnings report. Activision's Blizzard said Overwatch remains Blizzard's fastest growing new franchise, and the game is now a $1 billion franchise, Blizzard says. So again, we talked about it a bit last week that it recently broke
$120 on skins.
Listen here.
Total.
Yeah, but that's crazy. That's probably up there with I'm sure Call of Duty is a $1 billion franchise, but that's up there with the other games too that they released. But
Call of Duty has like 50 million installments, half of which are subpar.
Yeah.
Overwatch is one, just well balanced, well polished. The console one is still a disappointment to me in how they've. I really wish they would have thought that a little bit. Did something to validate the precision characters a little bit more. But outside of that, I still enjoy playing it. But it's still disappointing that you can't really take some of the characters to their full potential on the console system.
Well, that just falls down to how it's controlled. I can't really see what they can do to alleviate that. I mean, there is aim assistance in the game that is toggleable. Like, mine's turned off because it makes it harder to hit headshots. But I mean, if you get used enough to it, it's just like everyone's brought to a lower standard. So it's not like anyone can do better than you. It's just some characters are hard, like you said, are hard to bring to their max potential, especially like Genji. Genji's not the easiest to play because there's a lot of things that would be important to be able to move around quicker and look around quicker. Same thing as with Lucio. It's hard to put Lucio to his full potential. All they had to do was have native keyboard mouse support on the home systems. Yeah, but
instead of having to go out and spend $150 or $100 on a quality piece of hardware that allows you to fool the console into thinking that it's a controller when you're using it.
Yeah, but then
there are players that go out and buy that thing, and I've seen it, and I know it's a good device. I know it works. And there's only one that really works perfectly well. But it's, I mean, you have to spend a lot of money to get a device to trick the system into thinking that it's a keyboard and mouse so that you can play with precision. And then you're overbalancing because nobody else has that.
Yeah, that's why they don't want it to be openly available. Because then you'd get a lot of people complaining. It's like, oh, I'm using a controller, but this dude's using a keyboard and mouse. He obviously has better control of his characters. That's why they want to kind of relegate it everyone using a controller to make it easier on everybody. Again, okay. On to the next article. These are all the E3 press conferences. The times revealed for each company so far. This is also by Eddie Macick of GameSpot. And it says
you tend to stick with like one writer each podcast. You got your website, you got your one writer.
I hit news and I go over the past week and I look through it, and he just apparently does a lot of articles. I don't really know what to say in that aspect.
You should check the Den of Geek website too when you're doing that.
Okay. You gotta send that to me. All right.
Geek has good stuff.
All right. E3 will be here before you know it. The annual summer event runs June 13th to 15th in LA, but things get started a few days earlier with press conferences from some of the biggest publishers in gaming. To help you keep track of everything, we're rounding up the times and dates for all the big press briefings and other notable events during the week of E3. Right now, Microsoft, Sony, Bethesda, and EA have announced plans for E3 2017. If history is any indication, Ubisoft's briefing will take place the afternoon of June 12th. As for Nintendo, the company has confirmed that like last year, it will not host a dedicated E3 briefing. However, it will have a presence at the show, details of which will be revealed soon. For the first time ever, E3 will be open to the public this year. The ESA, which organized E3, made 15,000 tickets available to anyone. We will continue to update this as E3 draws closer, and we have basically a schedule of what we know so far for E3 2017. And on Saturday, June 10th, we have EA's event, which will start at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 8 p.m. GMT. We have Sunday, June 11th. Microsoft and Bethesda will be there. Microsoft starts at 2 p.m. or we'll keep it to Eastern, and then people can make their changes.
E3 is not what it used to be, man. I don't look forward to E3 anymore, especially now that we have, K-Pax or whatnot.
Let me finish the article, Shawn.
Sorry.
Thank you.
It's a podcast. Jesus.
We'll get to it in a second. We're running. We're trying to speed through these. I have a lot of articles we have to go through. Okay, so for Microsoft, it's 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, and 10 p.m. GMT. Bethesda has no specific time announced, but it will be during the evening on Sunday, June 11th. Monday, June 12th, the PC gaming show will start at 10 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 6 p.m. GMT. Ubisoft will be in the early afternoon. This is based on last year's timing, but that will be on June 12th. And Sony's will also be on June 12th at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. GMT. RIP GMT. So we have some days. Again, one of the reasons that I've heard that they're working on opening it to the public is they're trying to test just how, like, the E3 as a brand, how important it still is. Because I understand what you're saying, where it's not what it used to be. It's not. A lot of people, like Nintendo, has completely fallen out of it. They do their own event. And right now, what they're testing, the people that organize their event are testing how, well, in a way, they're testing how much money can they still make from this.
And I saw the actual news thing about what they're doing with E3. I know why they're doing it. I get it used to be real powerful and big news drops, and so many developers don't even fucking bother. Or when they show up now, they put in half an effort because they're all doing their own thing. Blizzard does their own thing, Nintendo their own thing, Bethesda their own thing, Sony has their own thing. Some of them still put in a presence, but it's not. It used to be a fucking amazing experience. You'd watch all these videos to drink up every little piece, and it's just gone down the shitter. And there's a number of different reasons. It's not just the validity of whether it still should continue or not, but that's a big part of it. Another part of it is people falsifying businesses and shit so they can get passes to go in, and then when they go in, they just fanboy all over people's faces. And I don't know, whatever, continue.
Yeah, it's definitely, I agree with you 100%, though. It's not as good as it used to be. Also, it comes down to just the growth of the internet in general. Things get leaked. Hype will die because of things getting leaked, stuff like that. Although sometimes leaks can build hype, there's other times where it could do the exact opposite and hype can die. So, but it's not as big of a thing anymore because not all the companies are putting their effort into it. Like we said, Nintendo does their own shit. A lot of people do their own shit. So it's just not like the go-to place for it anymore. So this might, depending on how it goes, this might be their last year doing it from what I've heard. And we'll definitely have to see how many tickets they sell, how that goes. I'm sure the tickets will sell out because they only have so many of them. But it's cool. It's their first year being open. It'd be cool to be able to go and see everything. But let's go ahead and move on to the next article. This says Nintendo explains why the new 2DS XL exists. Have you seen this DS, Shawn? It's like the black and blue one. It's like the new 2DS XL.
No.
I've seen it. It looks pretty cool, but I was always wondering why a new 2DS? Because I saw the first 2DS. I remember when I worked at Target. Excuse me. I remember when I worked at Target, we got a shipment of them once. No one ever fucking bought them. And they just sat there and collected dust on the shelf. Because why? Like, it's weird because it's the 2DS, so it doesn't fold, and it's like fat and big. So like it doesn't fit in your pocket. Like the whole point of the 3DS is to be like a portable thing. The 3DS XL can fit in your pocket if you have big enough pocket pants. At least for guys. I know women have smaller pockets for their pants, so maybe not for a woman. But like the problem with the 2DS is that since it didn't fold, it was just like this fat ass piece of thing that like you couldn't put anywhere, and it was just cheaper. So I never saw anyone buy it. But this is the new 2DS XL, and so Reggie, I can't pronounce his last name. I've heard it before, but I can never remember it when I read it. But he's the CEO of Nintendo America, obviously, and not the CEO. I don't know. He runs Nintendo of America, and He says that the new 2DS XL is for consumers who want something in between. Nintendo recently announced another model in its long-running 3DS line, the new 2DS XL, which will combine the screen size and clamshell form factor from the 3DS XL, and it has built-in NFC capability of the new 3DS and the budget price associated with the 2DS. With so many different iterations of the console now available, not forgetting the standard 3DS or the new 3DS, some people have wondered why the new 2DS exists at all. Now, Nintendo of America president... Okay, so he's the president, but I still can't pronounce his last name. I'm just going to call him Reggie. Has said that the device is for customers who want something in between the 2DS and the 3DS XL. The new 2DS really focuses on that entry-level gamer, he told Time Magazine. The 4, 5, 6-year-old that is just getting into gaming but wants to play Mario Kart and wants to have a Super Mario Bros. Experience or wants to play Pokemon. And we feel that the Nintendo 3DS XL at $200, that it's a fully featured product, that it is, if you will, the Cadillac of handheld gaming. Oh, good job, Reggie. And then we heard from consumers, boy, I wish there was something in between. That's why the company decided to make the 2DS XL. The executive previously said that the new device still packs the same power of the new 3DS XL. Now, it's weird because the whole idea of the 2DS is like it's a budget.
Same fucking thing that the last one was.
It's a budget version of it. But like this one actually folds, so why call it the 2D? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. Oh, I guess I didn't 3DS mean because wasn't 3DS because it had like the stereoscopic 3D that you didn't need like glasses for?
Yes, that's the whole point. It had nothing to do with the folding.
Okay.
But they've already released a 2DS before.
Yeah,
it didn't sell. Gave two shits about it.
Yeah, but this one apparently has the power of the 3DS, has the clamshell form, so it's more portable.
Oh,
just no 3D. And it launches at $138. Actually,
so it's the same fucking thing, but it doesn't have 3D. Nobody uses the 3D anyway, except for me.
It's so the 3D is not the best, and even with the advancements and like the tracking and shit that they added, it's still just okay. There's no point for it. There's some games that don't even fucking utilize it. Like some of the new Pokemons do not use 3D. The games have completely dropped it as well. It was more of a gimmicky thing, Nintendo with their gimmicks, and it never went anywhere. So they're completely dropping it as a whole.
This is a strong word, man. Nintendo constantly tries to innovate. They were trying to innovate. 3D was just becoming a big thing with the fucking movies. It was making a comeback, and now it's kind of leveled out a bit. You know, and 3D did what 3D always does. It's a rage. It calms down. It goes away. You know, it raged for a fucking while till they were. But it was just people weren't putting the quality into the 3D. You had too many 3D in post. You have to shoot the movie specifically for 3D for it to be worth it. And most of it was being converted. Same thing with the games. They weren't creating them to be done 3D. They were doing it in post, converting them afterwards. And you're not going to get the same kind of experience. But I don't for a moment think that Nintendo is a gimmick company. They try to innovate, to give new things, to give new layers of player interaction. Again, that's a conversation for another day. But I don't think it was a gimmick. They were legit trying to do something, and it was impressive. It's just, you know, I don't care. You know, I don't like the 3D away from my face. I would be more impressed if I was wearing goggles or some shit, and then playing it, because then it doesn't matter. You don't have as many glitchy experiences with it. There's not as many ways you can fall out of the picture.
Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the next article. And this is Nintendo Switch expected to hit relative parity with Wii in terms of sales. This is all expectations. This could be Nintendo stroking its own dick. But let's hear out what they have to say. This is by, again, Eddie Makic from GameSpot. And this says the Nintendo Switch is off to a hot start, selling almost 3 million consoles in its first month, well ahead of Nintendo's first month forecast of 2 million units. Now, Nintendo president Tatsumi Kimishima has said Nintendo believes the console can reach relative parity with the Wii, which sold more than 100 million units. Part of what might help the Switch push big numbers is that Nintendo believes that one system might not be enough for each household, considering the hybrid nature of the console. The truth is that we want to raise the installed base of Nintendo Switch up to the same level as the Wii. Nintendo president Kimishima said during a financial Q&A session recently. As we mentioned during our presentation, Nintendo Switch in America had the fastest start of any Nintendo hardware, despite launching in March. If our sales go ahead to our plan this fiscal year, we will be able to see Nintendo Switch gaining the momentum in which it can approach relative parity with the Wii afterwards, he added. Plus, considering that Nintendo Switch is a home console video game system that you can take with you and on the go so you could play anytime, anywhere, with anyone, we think that there will be households who feel as though one is not really enough. This is another point that drives us to match the scale of Wii's popularity with Nintendo Switch. Software is key to the success of hardware, and this is no different for the Switch. Kimishima also talked about how Nintendo plans to launch one title after another with no gaps to help the platform thrive. In the video game business, it's important for consumers to feel that a sales momentum is going to grow. We are setting a standard with Nintendo Switch to release a continuous string of major software titles from now on, he said. Nintendo plans to ship a further 10 million Switch units this fiscal year. Kimishima didn't get into specifics, but said the company is boosting its production capacity to hit that figure and handle the season of high demand. The Wii was one of the best-selling consoles ever, so if the Switch can get anywhere near that, it would be a notable achievement.
Console. That's sad.
What happened?
I said, and it was their worst console.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
There's a little bit more. For what it's worth, someone at Nintendo also believed that the Wii U would sell 100 million systems, and that did not come even close to happening. But the way they've marketed the Switch, it's marketed. It's weird because it's marketed towards gamers, but it's marketed just towards people in general. It's not marketed towards kids. And I think
they targeted squarely. They targeted millennials and young Gen Xers, man. They were targeting my age group and your age group. You know, they were hitting us square. As a matter of fact, I skewed on the higher end of all their advertising, man, was people in their not even their early 20s. 90 like all the people in their advertisements, if you look at the actors, they were all playing people like 26, 27, 28. They were all late 20s. They were all post-college, like professionals, like every single one of them, all these people, everyone that was in those advertisements, they were all adults, like legit adults, not like, I'm just out of high school, let's go have sex at a birthday party. No, legit adults. Like these people have, like they had their own apartments, they had good living rooms, they had nice things. They were sending a very specific idea. They didn't target kids at all. Like, not that I recall. There might have been one little girl in it now that I think about it, but they barely touched kids, man. They were going straight for, the young Gen Xers and the older millennials.
Yeah.
I think if anybody's in their late 20s right now, are they still millennials? When would they be born if they were in their late 20s?
If they're in their late 20s and
say 27 years ago.
27 years ago? That would be, wouldn't that be start of the 90s?
2017 now, so.
Yeah, that'd be the start of the 90s, wouldn't it?
Yeah, would you still be a Gen Xer if you were like in 1990, early 90s?
I'd say so.
I don't fucking know. I think so, but.
Close enough. It falls within the range. All right. Yeah, I again, this is just, it could be just be Nintendo stroking their own dick, but I think it's cool to see that they're going to be popping out titles, churning out games, and you could look at
with the Wii and look what happened, dude. Shovelware.
We'll see. We'll see, because from what I've seen from games that are coming out, there's actually some hype around like some of the titles. Like the Mario looks cool, although I'm probably not going to pick up ARMS. It looks interesting. It looks like an interesting game. I'm excited to see what they continue to bring. I'm hoping it just doesn't turn into like when they do release. I want to see new IPs from Nintendo. I want to see them move out. I know that they're making another Xenoblade Chronicles, like a second one for the Switch. Bring
the other two back. If they brought, I'll legit tell you, if they take the Wii store or allow you to bring over your Wii games or do something to help you to respect the people that put money into the Wii.
Which Wii? The Wii or the Wii U?
Wii U. For those of you who have went through all that trouble, you bought a Wii, you bought a Wii U, you transferred your files over, you spent all this fucking money.
on this equipment. Like if you buy a Switch, we're going to let you bring these games over. We've developed this system and that system. It's going to be backwards compatible, so you can bring these digital games over. You can't play the discs. We're sorry, but if you bought digital content, we're at least doing this for you. I mean, it's a tiny nod of appreciation, but that's about as nice as Xbox going backwards compatible for at least their AAA tier games that they had produced in the last multiple years or whatnot. That's the one giant fuck up that Sony made out of the tiny handfuls of giant fuck ups they did with the fucking PlayStation, was no backwards compatibility on the PlayStation 4 for cost cutting reasons. And then somebody went and found out how much it would have cost for it to be backwards compatible, and it would have been like an extra $40 all in all. And I would have gladly paid that to be able to keep my PS3 games, because my PS3's been dead for ages and I can't afford to fix it. And even if I do, I don't even know if it's going to survive long enough after it's fixed, because it went amber light. So thanks to my horrible monster ex-girlfriend, but that's another story. Like, if you're gonna, there's just constantly this, it's so frustrating. Like, you put all that money into a system and then it dies prematurely, and they do nothing for the people that gave the money and stayed by them. For the longest, Sony was that guy. You know, you could play your PS1 games on your PlayStation 2. You could play your PS1 games and your PS2 games on your PlayStation 3 Fat Boy.
When did
that was amazing.
When did the Wii U come out?
The Wii U, I don't fucking remember. I'd have to look it up. Hold on.
I'm doing it right now. I want to know what its lifespan was in total. Let's see. The Wii U released in 2012. So if you go back at the end of 12, so we'll call it 2013. So it's technically been. It's just recently dropped over the last couple months.
It retired at the end of 2016. They retired the Wii U.
So,
or actually, right when the Switch came out. So,
if you look at the way that the video game market works in general, it's basically it's lived a normal lifespan, about a 4-year lifespan.
Dude, normal lifespan for a console system is 7 years.
Oh yeah, shit, you're right. Well,
some of them last longer. The PlayStation 2 had a stupid long lifespan, which was amazing. It was up there with the Super Nintendo. Stupid long lifespan, just really solid fucking system. Probably one of the best in terms of overall quality.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right.
PlayStation 2 was like stupid long. But yeah, you're looking 6 to 7 years, and they killed the Wii U. So 6 to 8 years. They killed the Wii U at between 4 and 5.
Okay.
And that was an expensive system. The games were expensive. People put money into it. You know, I went back and even spent money on the Wii market, buying the WiiWare, some WiiWare titles, and some of the which I hope that's still open, because I still want to go back and get some of the retro games. But I haven't even thought to check, because I still have some money on there.
Well, why? Oh, okay. If you have money, I don't see any reason. Yeah. I know they're going to be opening their. I know they're going to be opening their virtual console store to the Switch. So if you have anything that you want to pick up, I'd rather. Because I can't imagine there'd be no point in going back to do stuff, because they're going to be adding stuff to the Switch. It's okay.
So I guess it's the Wii U's got space, and there are some games that aren't going to make the transition. There are hundreds of games.
Well, you don't necessarily know what they have plans for, because I know that the only one that
tell me, Nintendo keeps things close to their chest now.
Yeah, they do. We'll see, because the only thing I've heard that they've mentioned is like GameCube stuff, but we'll see what they do. All right. Let's continue on to the next. Okay, so this is from...
That's a nice way of saying shut up, Shawn.
So this is from Eddie Makic of GameSpot, and this says, we've doubled our thoroughness, the Prey dev says, after Dishonored 2's PC issues. Dishonored 2 was well received critically, but the PC version stumbled out the gate due to some things like performance and input issues. Those problems were addressed through patches, and with the next game from the developer Arcane, the sci-fi shooter Prey, fans may be wondering what to expect from the PC version. Arcane president Rafael Colantonio, I guess, said the team at Arcane has doubled its thoroughness as it relates to testing. He also pointed out that many games, including Prey, are developed with PC as the primary platform. We're pretty confident, Colantonio said. First of all, it's not like we first do the game on console and then in the end we suddenly port the game to PC. It starts on PC. That's how game development works. Another thing to note is that Dishonored 2
console engine.
Another thing to note is that Dishonored 2 was developed on Arcane's own Void engine, while Prey was made using the CryEngine 3. I did not know that. He went on to say that the number of different hardware configurations that developers have to consider for PC is huge. Unlike consoles like Xbox One and PS4, PCs feature different components based on what people want to spend to get the performance they want. This complicates matters when it comes to testing for Prey and other games. The real reason why PC games often have problems is because there are so many permutations of hardware, said Colantonio, and sometimes it's timing. Drivers come out at the same time as our game, sometimes, or something happens that makes it more challenging. When Colantonio, of course, cannot guarantee that Prey will run perfectly on PC out the gate, he assured fans that Arcane has put in the effort to ensure the game gets off to a better start than Dishonored 2 did. This time we are given what happened with Dishonored 2. We doubled our thoroughness in making sure that the game is going to run smoothly, he explained. At this point, the game is fully ready, but that's what we've been doing for the past months. A lot of tests on different configurations to make sure it works. So we're pretty confident. You never know, but we're pretty confident. So that's nice. I heard a lot about Dishonored 2's shittiness of how the PC version went. And it's nice to see, because every once in a while you'll hear that a game will come out and then it will be it again. We don't know, and you'll get to the PC version, and the PC version will have problems. Like we've heard of Nier having. I've heard of Nier having multiple issues with frame rates and locking up and stuff like that. So it's nice to see. Again, if I don't know why
how kinds of games
like these issues arise, and I wish that more testing although we were hearing from Arcane that they're doing more testing, obviously, but I don't know, that should be a norm. There should be, like, I don't understand, like, the whole thing with, like, day one patches coming out. I always find that frustrating because I can understand things can change, but it almost feels like there wasn't enough attention put to testing the game ahead of time. Like you look at like fucking
years, man.
Fucking Andromeda, right? The whole internet has been talking about Andromeda. I know it's died down a lot because no one gives a shit anymore, but I'm just going to say this. How the hell did that game go gold? How did a team of people that make video games sit around at a fucking table and be like, this is good, this can be put out, and this will make the Mass Effect fans proud? How the hell does that happen? That shit baffles my mind. Like, I don't understand. Persona 5 came out. I haven't touched that god-awful piece of shit since. It has not occupied space in my console game since then. And, like, I know they've been patching it, but they shouldn't have to fucking patch it. It should have never have gone gold in the first place. Fix your game before you release it, because consumers are retarded. That's all. I'm going to say it right ahead. People pre-order shit all the time. Like, and I had heard, I've listened to a lot of podcasts. I had heard from other people that they were almost scared because they haven't seen anything of it before it came out, before Mass Effect was released. And
well, I saw that stupid hip swing thing, and that was about it.
Oh, jeez. And I've heard people were like scared because they're like, I haven't seen anything for this game. We've seen a little stuff here and there. And then what do you know? It comes out and it's just absolutely a piece of steaming hot garbage. The game's not bad. I understand why people would want to defend it because it's part of it might be from their favorite franchise. But I would, if I was a fan, I'm not a fan, but if I was a fan, I'd be more frustrated than anything else than wanting to defend it or anything like that. the game, this combat's cool, but that's like the best you could say about it. The game's glitchy. I haven't played it since they patched it, so I don't know how glitchy it still is. But from what I've heard, they've been working on patching it out. But you shouldn't be fixing your game months into the release of it. Like, again, that's all. I'm gonna leave it on that. It was an angry tangent. But like hearing what they're doing with Prey, making sure that all the versions are stable, I had like a small Vietnam flashback to when I first started playing Andromeda, and I just like my mind exploded, and I just couldn't control myself. There's doo-doo on the floor, and like there was rage, and it was all a blur. I couldn't. God, we're gonna leave it at that. That's all I have to say. Good on you, Arcane, making your versions stable. I appreciate it, because apparently it's not something that's the norm anymore.
The sad part is this didn't even used to be news. If you were going to release a game,
exactly,
you had to originally with the cartridges. I mean, once it was released, it was done. If you released a game with a game-breaking bug, you had to recall the cartridges or provide replacements. And the cartridges were astronomically expensive, so it didn't make sense. So they would put months and months into testing. And sometimes games didn't get released because they were so buggy. There was numerous occasions where they would create a game, but it was so fucked, and they couldn't fix it enough to get fucked that they would try fixing it for X amount of months or weeks or whatever they could. But eventually the budget for fixing it would outweigh, it wouldn't be worth trying to fix anymore. And then the games would just go unreleased. They would become vaporware. They would toss them. And a lot of games would just disappear because of it. And when they went to discs, it was the same fucking thing. You still had glitches and stuff, but if you go and look at these glitch hunter guys that do the YouTube videos, you're fine. I mean, they have to use software to break into the game to try and find half the glitches, because they're just not easy to always replicate. And some of them were just used to, level switch and shit like that. But it was rare to hear about glitches and exploitations and things like that in the older games. When you have when you hit the digital age, all of a sudden now they can release an unfinished game. There was one game that was released, I think it was one of the skater games, where all that was on the disc was the tutorial. The entire rest of the game had to be downloaded because it wasn't finished at pressing time when they were pressing the discs. So they sold all these skate games. I think it was one of the skate games. I think it was like Skate 3 or something. Not a good game by any means. But when they released the game, like collectors who go back to collect the games now, like when the digital markets are off, when it's on PlayStation 15, you got one dude that's trying to buy like the whole thing and he wants to go back and play. He's going to plug it in, get a tutorial. There won't be any other game. He won't be able to fucking play it. And that's ridiculous. You're in an age now where you don't own the material you're buying, or you're only getting part of the material and it's not finished. And a huge chunk of games that are being released now aren't finished. They're either they're functional, but maybe they're barely functional, or maybe they're functional within a degree. And you have to get the updates. I have games from years ago sitting on my PlayStation 4 that I haven't touched for a while that still get updates. They should never be getting updates like that. It should be a couple of, at the most forgivable, a month or two of updates, and then it should be fucking done, unless you're really adding something. Like you're putting in a new feature. I like the fact DLC isn't used the way it should be. And I mean, granted, this is a much longer conversation. There's a whole other topic, but I have to, and you've heard me rage on this before, man. Like, I hate the fact that we as gamers have helped foster a community that now gives us unfinished games. We are now buying games, full games, still in alpha. We are buying games in beta, not even finished. We're buying incomplete games that haven't even been finished. We've paid them full price and we're just waiting for the rest of the shit. That's bullshit. That's like the shadiest version of Kickstarter I've ever fucking heard of. And yet we're doing it. They put it out there and some assholes giving them money. So they keep doing it. And there are more people that are feeding this beast than are refusing to play. So the rest of us are stuck in the same fucking boat. You're getting games that are being released broken because they're because of budget constraints and this, that, the other. They're not taking the time. They're putting it out there. They want the quick cash, and then they release fixes and all this other bullshit afterwards. And you mix that with the pre-order market that's been around for at least a decade and a half now, maybe no longer, because I remember pre-ordering the PSP before it came. I don't remember. I think it was 2006, was it? Something like that. Might have been before then. But I remember pre-ordering that. I pre-ordered Final Fantasy VIII. I paid for that shit like a month in advance, and that was before pre-orders were a thing. So, but the pre-order, when they've got this huge demand to release something on a specific date, and then they don't release it on that date, there's a huge amount of negative heat. Pre-orders get canceled. They lose money. So they put out whatever they can when they said they're going to put it out. It takes balls to sit there and say, you know what? We're moving the delay back because for quality. That's why I have no fucking problem with Kingdom Hearts getting consistently delayed, because by the time it comes out, it's going to be good. Because the last Kingdom Hearts titles, the stories were so fucking weird. And the gameplay was kind of average, but you just played it for nostalgia purposes. Yeah. You're going to find out, you're playing through the Kingdom Hearts now, you're going to find out the best Kingdom Hearts are the two main ones.
Oh, I don't even know if I'm going to touch the others.
Interesting.
I don't even know if I'm going to touch the others. That's when I finally get to it, because it's in the backlog right now. All right.
I know.
Let's go ahead.
The industry is not going to change. It's not going to. Either all the people have to stop pre-ordering no matter what the bonuses are and say, no, we're not fucking supporting this bullshit anymore. And then they have to stop buying alphas and betas. And when a company produces a game that's not finished, they need to fucking set their asses on fire. And the moment it comes out that it's like that, people need to not buy it, but they're still buying it because they know it's going to get fixed. If you don't send a loud message, and the only way to stop these greedy morons is to hit them in the wallet, because the companies do not care about gamers at all. It's just the money. It's all money. So you have to hit them in the wallet, and nobody's willing to do that. They want it. They want it. They want it. It's a different gaming world than when you and I got into it, man. Nobody cares anymore.
It's been a very cynical podcast episode.
I'm a cynical I'm a cynical bastard. That's why.
Yeah, but you're more cynical than normal. All right. Okay. Next article, because we're an hour and a half in and we're still on the fucking news. All right. This is so Eddie Macick of GameSpot yet again. This is Call of Duty 2 or Call of Duty World War II has female soldiers in their multiplayer. So Call of Duty World War II will let you play as a female soldier in multiplayer. Developer Sledgehammer Games has confirmed. This is no big surprise, as the latest entries in the series offer that option. Studio boss Michael Condrey confirmed this for Call of Duty World War II in a tweet, responding to a fan who asked there be female characters. In Call of Duty World War II's campaign mode, you mainly play as a male soldier, though at one period of the game you will play as a woman fighting in the French Resistance. According to another Call of Duty developer, Infinity Ward, technical limitations for character customization kept female characters out of past Call of Duty games. World War II launches November 3rd for blah, blah, blah. Now, okay, I understand that there were women in World War II. Now, the U.S. is different because depending on where you're listening from, if your country actually participated in World War II. But in the U.S., because it was so... It wasn't really looked upon by the community or the culture that the United States had at the time didn't look on women being in combat favorably. We didn't have really women in World War II in combat. There were plenty of women in World War II that they basically worked in non-combat scenarios. My
You
grandmother.
had women in the SI. Was it SIS? I can't remember. The predecessor to the Black Ops and Special Forces. There were women in there, women spies.
Oh, I could see. I mean, again, it's like a super small percentage, and
there weren't women combatants. Not
no, they weren't. Yeah, they weren't. There weren't women on the front lines in general, really. At least for the U.S. I don't know about other countries. I'm sure that other countries had their own.
France had women for sure. One of their biggest quote heroes of the French resistance, because I think they gave up didn't they give up twice during World War II?
Yep.
I don't even remember, but I don't know how you do that twice. But there was one woman who led part of the French resistance that inspired or partially inspired Medal of Honor 2, which was a woman in the French resistance. So there's that.
Now, I have no problem with having women in video games. Don't take me for being some kind of. No, I'm not. I know you know me. I'm talking to the audience, fam.
No, I was with you. I'm just saying it's not a big deal. Like they're saying it like it's a big deal, but they have had women characters in combat games before. I know because I remember shooting them.
Yeah.
You've been able to create women characters in some games. It's just not been prevalent in Call of Duty or Battlefield. It'll break reality, but fuck it, put it in there, because if chicks want to be chicks, let them be chicks. That's never been women are, it just makes sense. And you always play chick characters in video games anyway.
Well, that's different. I'm thinking because go back to Battlefront. No way, it's Battlefield. God, I always get those two fucking games mixed up. Go back to Battlefield 1, right, when that came out. Do you remember the whole debacle we had that people were bitching because there weren't females characters that were playable in the multiplayer in World War I and stuff like that? I'm just saying, if it makes sense, I understand allowing it, but it just feels odd to me if you're having if you're in a map where it's like the United States against someone else, you're on the U.S. team and you're running around with women on your team. Again, I have nothing against women being portrayed in any shape or form. It just feels weird when it's dropping the historical aspect of it. Again, Call of Duty in no way, shape, or form has ever been historically accurate, because it's fucking Call of Duty and we're running around in little battlefields and shooting each other for fun. So we respawn and shit like that.
The campaign tries to draw inspiration from real events.
Yeah, no. The campaign, that from what I've seen, you're just following a group of male soldiers, and it's it's kind of Band of Brothers-esque.
Sticks to reality, yeah. As long as the campaign sticks to reality, dude, there's nothing realistic about the fucking multiplayer. Respawns. So when it comes to the multiplayer aspect, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want. When it comes to the campaign, if you're basing something off of history, and you don't stick to history, people will light your ass on fire.
We'll see, because from what I've heard of the multiplayer, they're trying to go for a more realistic approach with the class style systems and stuff like that. We'll see what they do. Again, I have no issues with it. I'm hyped for the game. We'll see what they do. I'm excited to see where they go with. The only reservation I have is because of Sledgehammer, and I haven't played a Sledgehammer Call of Duty before, so we'll see. Wait.
Easy way.
Never mind.
Unless you're taking into account what?
No, because Modern Warfare 3 was Sledgehammer, so that's bullshit. I have played a Sledgehammer Call of Duty before.
Warfare 3? I don't even remember that.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 3 was Sledgehammer. That was when I had a 360.
The weird part is the one that was actually the freshest title, the one where they. And this goes back to something I told you a long time ago, but the one where they tried to innovate was the one that tanked. They tried to do...
Wait, which one are we talking about?
They tried an Infinite Warfare. They tried to do... Because what was that other one they did before Infinite Warfare where it was slightly futuristic?
Advanced Warfare? Wait, no.
Yeah.
Is Infinite the one that just came out?
No, they did one... they did a little a film short for it.
Dude,
it was like a 5-minute. They did a short film to promote the game, and it had like a drone with machine guns on it. And the one dude that was piloting the drone got shot and killed, and the other guys were fighting off these bad dudes or some garbage.
I don't know.
But it was a short film. Well, anyway, they did a live action short film for it, and it was supposed to be somewhat real. Like, it was futuristic, but near future. Guns that shoot around corners or whatever, hologram stuff a little bit here and there. Futuristic guns, but still could feasibly be real with the right level of tech. It wasn't like, combat in space kind of bullshit like Infinite Warfare. But out of all of the Call of Duties, Infinite Warfare was the one that intrigued me the most because they were breaking formula for fucking once. But there was another one that was slightly futuristic, and that one kind of intrigued me a little bit too. Because we don't have little tiny drones like fucking dinner plate drones with fucking machine guns and shit on them. You really think about it, they couldn't handle that kind of garbage. And this one was just like a little badass fucking Apache chopper running around like killing shit.
Yeah, that might have been Black Ops 2. I don't think that was one of the Modern Warfare series.
Was there an Advanced Warfighter or something?
There was Advanced Warfare. That was a Sledgehammer game.
No, Advanced Warfighter. Do you remember that one?
I don't think that was a Call of Duty. I think wasn't that Medal of Honor? I don't even know.
No, or I don't know. There was one that was kind of futuristic. Somebody will remember. Oh, it had cloaking. That's what it was. It introduced cloaking. It was a Call of Duty type of game.
That was Black Ops 3, I think.
Cloaking.
It was Black Ops 3, right?
Where you could go invisible?
I think. I don't know. I think so. I'm not entirely sure. All right. We still got like 2 more articles to go through. I did a lot. This one though intrigues me. I'm interested to see what this happens. This might be the final nail in the coffin that will get me to get a VR set if it comes to the States. But this is from Patrick Fowler of GameSpot, and this says PlayStation VR anime series Kizumonogatari goes virtual reality in Japan. Projection mapping promises to immerse viewers in the film's universe. If you're a fan of the Kizumonogatari anime series, you may get the chance to immerse yourself in the world of the film soon. Sony and several other partners have announced Kizumonogatari VR for PS4's PlayStation VR. You get a look at the teaser, blah, blah. The VR experience will use projection mapping and promises a video experience that transports the viewer into the world of, now, everyone stay with me here, she's got a long name, Kiss Shot, Acerola, Orion Heart Underblade. Sounds like an edgy 12-year-old kid's fan fiction or something like that.
Yeah, it's a Sanic character.
Yeah, a Sanic character. A powerful vampire and one of the series' central characters. Kizumonogatari VR is being made to celebrate the release of the series' 3 films on DVD and Blu-ray. I really like those movies. They're really good. If you're in Japan, you can apply to try out the VR early, and there'll be an advanced viewing party on May 20th. For the rest of us, we'll have to wait for more information on a potential release outside of Japan. If you're curious about the series, check out the trailer. Yeah, the third movie came out in Japan in theaters on the 7th. I don't know if it's actually anywhere to be viewed in the States yet, but I recommend, Shawn, if you haven't seen it, I recommend that. It's pretty good. And since it's like a prequel to the actual series in general, so you don't need to know anything going into it prior. It's just like the start of the story. So the movies are excellently made. Like the way they do it, the art style.
Vampire, right?
Yeah, the art style, the art direction. Yeah. They're very excellent. I love watching them. They're good movies. But like I watched the trailer before we started, and it's interesting because you're straight up in some of the scenes where shit's going on or when the characters are talking. You're just there and you're in your VR set. Now the thing about it that probably won't do well is since it's anime, right? The character models will have to be 3D if you're in a VR setting. And I don't know how well they'd be able to do that because it's hard to kind of do that transfer of mediums from a 2D character to a 3D model. They don't always do that well when it comes to anime. Sometimes it doesn't always work out well. We'll see what they do. It'd just be kind of like something a fan would enjoy. That'd be interesting. The movies were pretty bad on when it came to fan service. Well, not horrible, but they had their moments. So I'm sure knowing Japan, they'll probably try and shoehorn something like that in there as well. I just thought that was interesting. If any of you out there have a VR headset and you might be looking forward to something like that, see if it gets a possible release outside of Japan. Okay, so damn, dude. Okay, I'm going to go over these last two articles super quick. I'm just going to read them, and then we're going to go on to our main topic because we're running long. So this is the Switch's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sets a new franchise sales record in the U.S. This is Chris Pereira from GameSpot, and it says, following the success of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario 8 Deluxe is now off to a hot start in the U.S. Combining digital and physical copies, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold 459,000 copies on its launch day in the U.S. last week. Nintendo announced today the company claims that makes it the fastest selling game in the franchise's history, just Mario Kart as a franchise. That record was previously held by Mario Kart Wii, which sold 433,000 units on launch day back in 2008, according to Nintendo. A press release notes that the attach rate for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is 45%, which would mean that U.S. Switch sales are around 1.2 million units. And the company says worldwide sales of the system have reached more than 2.7 million. And we learned today that it even made the costly move of shipping some consoles by air to meet demand. The strong performance of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is particularly impressive considering it is merely an enhanced port of the Wii U game rather than an original game. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild remains the Switch's best-selling game to date in the U.S., and it has sold 925,000 copies on Switch in March alone. During this same span worldwide, it sold almost 3 million units. So I thought that was cool. Again, we're blowing through, so we got one more article.
Especially considering Mario Kart 8's how old now?
Yeah, it is. I'd say 2 years, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
it's pretty old. Okay, this is again Eddie Macick of GameSpot. This is our last article, and this is Kojima provides update on Death Stranding and talks about naked Norman Reedus, which is what everyone wants to hear about. During an appearance at the Tribeca Games Festival this weekend, Hideo Kojima shared an update on how his mysterious and anticipated game Death Stranding is coming along. He also talked about the decision to have the character the Walking Dead actor Norman Reedus plays. What the? Okay. One more time. He also talked about the decision to have the character Norman Reedus from The Walking Dead appear naked in the first trailer for the game. He didn't get into specifics about Death Stranding, but confirmed that his team at Kojima Productions is currently working with its engine, Decima, on tests for the game. This suggests that the game is still quite early in the development process, but it could apparently come out in 2018. We're continuously doing different tests for game systems, for characters, for environments, he said through a translator. We are continually testing these aspects. So far, it's going pretty well. As an example, Kojima said the team is working on the test environment set in New York, though that is not where the game is set, he stressed. The team created a restaurant setting that they're working on figuring out who the character played by Reedus meets there, the table they sit at, the dialogue between them, and even the menu they look at. Altogether, Kojima's team is now trying to combine different elements of Death Stranding to see how they come together, he said. During the talk, Kojima briefly discussed Reedus being naked in the reveal trailer. Having Reedus naked in the reveal trailer is something I very specifically had in mind. I wanted people to see first a naked Norman, Kojima said, and then from there you'll be able to see him in different costumes and different hairstyles, different equipment, and that's as much as I should say today. In addition to Reedus, Death Stranding will feature Hannibal actor Mads Mikkelsen and film director Guillermo del Toro. Death Stranding is in development as a console exclusive for PS4 through a partnership with Sony. The game is also reportedly coming to PC. For more on Death Stranding, you can check out all blah, blah, blah. So, we have not seen shit about this game. We've only been hearing little tidbits of information.
A tiny trailer.
Yeah, it's a weird-ass trailer.
Excited. I will absolutely fucking buy it. I will buy the shit out of that. I don't care if Norman Reedus is naked through the whole thing, no homo. I will buy the living fuck out of that game.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It's weird that Guillermo del Toro is going to play a character in it.
No. He's the director still.
He's in the game.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, but is he? He's actually in the game. He was in. You saw him. If I remember correctly, unless I'm going crazy, you saw his face in the trailer.
Oh, I have no idea. I've seen Mickelson's face like rendered in the game and stuff like that, or rendered in like a CG trailer. But I'm excited. I don't know what it's going to be about. I don't know what's going to be going on. I've heard that people have speculated that Death Stranding as a whole means like when a bunch of like things from the sea die in mass and like wash up on shore, which is what we saw in the trailing. So there may be some kind of like virus that broke out or something. It has something to do with those, either there are people or something in the sky at the end of the trailer. If you guys have not seen the trailer, I recommend checking it out. It's very weird, very surreal. It looks interesting. That last scene that they do where they show like the things that they kind of look like crosses in the air reminded me heavily of Evangelion. Like, just seeing that.
I'm curious because it was supposed to originally be a horror game, and now I'm kind of curious what direction it's going to go.
Yeah, it definitely looks interesting. So again, I'm excited for that too. Again, another PlayStation exclusive. Xbox continues to get its asshole ripped apart by Sony, and we'll see as time continues to progress. We're already halfway through 2017, which is pretty crazy. So we might see it in 2018. See what happens. Okay, so now, very late into the series, we're going to move on to our main topic, although we probably might not have a lot to say about it in all honesty, so we'll put some time into it. But what do we want to see from Destiny 2? And then some problems we might have had with the first Destiny. What do we want Bungie to work on? I guess I'm going to go ahead and start. My main thing that I want to see in Destiny 2, right off the bat, is there's actually two things I want, really important. I'd say the first one's a bit more important, although it's already been promised to us. I want an expansive cinematic story. On the first game, although they got better with it with the release of DLC, the vanilla version of Destiny, the story was practically non-existent. You'd have to go online and do all that shit with the grimoires, and that's like the best way to learn more about the lore. But initially, there were few to no cutscenes, and they did not do a lot of explaining what was going on in the world. And it's just, what I want is right out of the bat, as soon as you put in the system, or as soon as you put the game on and you're starting to play, I want to start seeing cutscenes. I want a actual defined story, and I want like, it doesn't have to be a linear path. I just want some form of like you're going through cutscenes, kind of like just a DLC expansion. I want the game to be, because the first game, the thing that was so good about the first Destiny is the gunplay. Moving around, shooting, jumping around, doing stuff, it all felt very natural. It was all very well designed, and it worked well in the engine of the game. What I want to see in Destiny 2, I want them to keep that gunplay, but I want them to make the game 60 frames. I think the game would excel so much better, and you'd truly feel how much nicer it would be if the game ran at a good 60 frame rate. I'm sure since it's going to be on PC, that will be available for PC members, but I'm talking about across all platforms in general. I want to see 60 frames because it was so like well designed and done well, the first game. I would love to have it run at 60 because it would just expand that even more. And then that, if they do that, that'd probably be one of the best shooting games I've ever played if they make it that way, because it's just so well designed, the gunplay. I want to see, instead of having 3 people, you could bring at least bring 4 people with you and do missions. Why can I only play with me and 2 other friends? I don't understand that. And they said that they are going to be making the areas larger. So this is the perfect time to introduce a larger party size, and make it a bit more open, make it where you could bring more people into it. We already know from the reveal trailers and stuff like that the story is going to be kind of set in, well, we don't know where it's set necessarily. It's technically still in the same universe. We know that, obviously. But the Cabal are taking over, which is cool because we never really got anything from the Cabal in the first game. So I'm excited where Bungie's going. I feel that they've learned a lot from what they've done with DLC and stuff like that. And I'm just excited to see where they're going. I have faith in Bungie as a whole because we saw how they learned through their DLCs. We saw that they were getting better with DLC. There was more cutscenes. That there was more of a kind of a story that was being kind of built around. You had cool topics going on. You had cool ideas. The raids were cool, and I just felt like those games, or the last couple DLCs that we received, were awesome, and that's what made Destiny such a, it like built up their community. Like a lot of people that didn't like it initially left, never came back. But the community that we had when Destiny was in its last couple of years was a really tight knit community of people that just absolutely love the game, and everyone found the game. And if you talk to people about it and they played it in its last couple of years, they loved Destiny. Not many people had issues with it because that in its final builds, it was a very well made game. And the only people that don't like it are the people that left early.
Didn't we talk about this in the last podcast though? I thought we talked about this.
What, Destiny?
Yeah.
No, the last one was Nintendo, bro.
I mean, I know that. Anyway, yeah. So what you want to? What I want from it's pretty simple. I want more Nathan Fillion. I want more of the Firefly class that they hired. I want them to bring fucking Ellen Tudyk in too. That'd be fucking awesome. Since they've got this running thing with using the Firefly guys, but I want Cade to have more of a central role. The other characters are boring in one note. Cade was fucking amazing. And I want it to be a goddamn MMO instead of a half-assed fucking... I mean, seriously. First of all, fucking cut out, was it Activision? They need to have no more say on story, any of it. They need to shut them the fuck up. Activision fucked that game up big time. Bungie had a fucking complete story. They had a composer. They had fucking everything. They were good to go. And they just felt they needed to brush up with certain elements of the story and kind of work on some stuff. And they had to scrap 90% of it because Activision decided this and Activision decided that. And the whole story is bullshit. Now, damn, I still feel Bungie failed us. And the game was awash with lack of fucking color. Like the whole thing was done through a grainy depresso filter. But I enjoyed the gunplay. I enjoyed the looting, and they had good voice actors, and it had potential. It just didn't come anywhere near it. The environments were boring to me. The really the gem part of it was the raids and the strikes. And even after you've done a strike a couple of times, it's whatever. But the whole thing was grinding, and it just really the only reason that I kept Destiny was because I had a large number of friends that played. If it had just been me, I wouldn't have touched the fucking thing. I mean, if it's just me, I can go in and have fun in small doses with Warframe. For some reason I can't explain, I enjoy the shit out of Neverwinter, even though it's a fucking... They really, really milk that whole fucking pay for stuff thing. I really enjoyed, for reasons I can't even explain, the goofy arcadeness and cheese-tastic polish of the game I got you guys into, Skyforge. And I even like other games where you can pay for stuff and it provides a little bit of an advantage, like Trove and things of that nature. But Destiny, I would not have played. There was not enough there. They didn't do... I mean, they had this weird washed out color palette thing going on. I don't understand any of the choices they made. I don't think it was a good game. I think it was a fun game with friends. But there were so many... If I was playing it by myself, I just want the parts where Cade talks. And that's not just because I'm a Nathan Fillion fanboy. Hashtag Nathan Fillion fanboy. But I just really, really was disappointed with everything that Destiny was and what it was supposed to be. I liked the plot heavy stuff, the parts where a major bad guy would show up, or you might get a fucking cutscene. That I liked. You know, I liked it when Oryx would talk, or you were fighting bosses. That I liked. But those were plot moments. The game shines the strongest when you're doing plot heavy levels. You still there?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole last level when you're on your way to Oryx, it's so scripted. It's fucking awesome. It's scripted. You know, all of the missions, a lot of them involve going through public areas and shit, and they all have certain scripted elements, but it's just so well scripted that it feels much better. And with that game, there was a lot of innovative ideas, but nothing was ever followed through well enough.
Yeah, it feels like the first Destiny was kind of
enough to fix.
It feels like the first Destiny was kind of like a public
test.
Yeah, like a test for the second Destiny. Although I'm not the game was fun and the raids were cool.
It was fun.
And
we had fun, but it wasn't good.
I don't know, because
okay.
when I got into Destiny, I played through the entire game, or what they had of it at year 2, on my own. I did it by myself. I enjoyed myself, and I look forward to playing more every day. I was able to sit there and get a character to level 40 by myself and enjoy the game. That's because I didn't know who else had a PlayStation at that time. But I think where, like you're saying, where the game did shine, it shined brilliantly. And then where it didn't shine, it was two sets of extremes.
Obvious. Yeah. I mean, the flaws stuck out just as bright as the good parts. I'm being overly harsh. I liked parts of it. I liked events. I liked the racing for the first couple of races. And then I got really competitive and angry, but and I liked that. They needed, let's put it this way. When they did something good, they didn't do enough of it. And when they did something wrong, they did too much of it. And don't get me wrong, doing something wrong at once is too much. But I'm saying, like, when it's constant, you know, this issue is just constant, or it's obviously a bad idea. Let's replicate it in every fucking mission. Or this stuff nobody likes. Let's keep doing it. Like, I mean, there's a lot of, it's just, there are so many good moments where I was really excited to play the next. Like, you'd have one of these cutscenes, one of the few cutscenes of all 5 or 6 of them, and you'd have a cutscene and it'd reveal a new part of the plot, and you're like, "Fuck yeah, we're gonna go find something out." And then you do like 8 missions of dull. Oh, you know, all right, I shot a bunch of guys. The shooting part's fun. Then I get here and the whole reason I played through the whole level is so I can hold out my hand and the ghost will pop out and scan something. Level done. Really? That's what you're doing here? This is my go fetch mission. That's what you're replacing from all of the MMOs, the fetch quests, and the go kill 10 things and come back. You're replacing that with go here, scan this. I can't tell you how many times I did that on a story-based mission. Go here, scan this, or go here and kill this enemy that's a big high-ranking commander who looks like every other fucking high-ranking commander. I mean, stick flags in his back, have him using a unique weapon, have him talk to us. Every boss. Oryx is the only one that talked to us. Right? Do you remember anyone else threatening you?
Well, the other bosses like didn't speak English. Oryx is the only one that actually.
If that fucko, if what's his name? If Tanix, was it Tanix?
Tanix was a strike boss, yeah.
No, the guy in the reef.
In the reef, Varix.
The cybernetic Varix.
The annoying one.
The others can talk. If he can talk, they can talk. But none of them talked. So I went through this whole level, got to the end, and I'm fighting just another normal enemy who has more armor.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of it.
I didn't hate.
It wasn't a lot that he did good. It wasn't enough, man. It wasn't enough.
I agree with you again, and they have promised us more of a story. I want to see again more set pieces when they in like raids. The environmental design of their raids was really good. Like I remember doing the Oryx raid the first time and going through the deeper areas of the Dreadnought, it was really cool to see like just how large of a scale it was, to see like these just huge gigantic prisons hanging from chains, and just being able to explore deeper into the Dreadnought was awesome. I enjoyed seeing stuff. The Rise of Iron or Wrath of the Machine raid, that raid was really cool looking. The environmental design in that raid was excellent. Going through the server room, that one point when right before you get into the server room and you're like going down the path into that giant diamond shaped thing, it's just so...
That was really cool.
Yeah, everything was really cool about it. I like how they implement things into raids to get special weapons, and you have to do certain things a certain way. And like the whole thing with Wrath of the Machine, they didn't tell anything to anybody, and people had to pretty much data mine for shit and like experiment, deal with like more.
That was all the raids though. They didn't tell you what to do.
Yeah. I love that. And we never were lucky, or I didn't say lucky. We never tried to be like to do a raid like a first time without knowing anything and going through it that way. But that's why I'm excited for Destiny 2. I want to see more raids. Maybe instead of 6, up the number so you have more people going. And if they truly are trying to make everything bigger, if they make everything bigger but keep the worlds like condensed with stuff that you can do or whatever they end up doing, I think this game will be really good. And if they maybe get more of a diversity to the areas we visit, although it was cool. I agree with what you're saying. Like our planets were a vegetation planet, desert planet, and Earth, and like some other things. So there wasn't really anything special, unique we were going. So you didn't really feel like you were exploring the universe. It kind of felt like you were visiting different countries practically, because nothing really looked super unique, cool style, which I agree our universe isn't technically like that. But I just want to see more open areas, being able to bring more players into that open areas, and just more diversity when it comes to enemy styles, bosses, stuff like that. I want to see more of that. And I think again, I have faith in Destiny to do stuff like that, because again, the last couple DLCs they released were really good. They added a lot to the game. They kept the game alive for a very long time. There's still people I know to today that play that game.
Tyler.
Yeah. Still trying to get us to do raids that we can't do because...
Hey guys, you want to play Destiny? You want to play Destiny?
No, Tyler. I'm playing a better game, Persona 5.
The night, whatever.
The Night Watch, the Nightfall. Yeah.
Nightfall.
I like that there were events that they did. If they get more on base with more events over the year, instead of just like yearly events, but have like more of them, that'd be cool. They tried to stay connected to their community. I want to see more of that. That'd be cool. Just a fix to the multiplayer, because they had many metas of the multiplayer where it was pretty much run around with a shotgun and be annoying and shit. And I want to see...
Not a lot you can do about that, though.
Yeah, there really isn't. And I was never really a big fan of the multiplayer, just because I felt like it was balanced in a way, because anyone can bring in a shotgun. So I didn't really feel like dying to a shotgun was technically bad, because you could alleviate that problem by taking out your own shotgun. But I want to see... It's just like, I just want to see more of the last 2 years of Destiny 1, but expanded upon, basically. I feel like that's the path that Destiny 2 will be taking. I'm excited. I don't want Destiny 2 to feel like a DLC for Destiny 1. I want it to feel like it's a new game. I want there to be an update to the graphics. I want there hopefully be 60 frames. I know it's a lot to ask, and I don't
really care about the frames. I just care about the quality of the game. And Destiny was half-baked. Where it shined, where it didn't, but there just wasn't enough shine for me to call it a great game. Was it good? Yes. Was it great? No. And will I remember Destiny fondly, years down the road, like I do Final Fantasy VII, or like I do Final Fantasy VI, like I do Castlevania, any of the ones before that weird Kojima one, like I do Devil May Cry, or anything that fucking sticks out as unique. There was nothing about Destiny that felt unique. It all just felt worn. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. The color palettes numbed me. Fuck, dude, I get it. You're on the moon, you're on a desert planet, you're on Earth. For the fact that we had to go to Venus to see any kind of a burst of color is annoying. And it's different than watching The Matrix or something where shit's washed out for a reason. There's no reason to go in the alien reworked parts of the moon or buildings on Venus where we had habitations and not see vibrant color. Like, I'm so tired of everything being gray or red. I'm fucking sick of it. Unbelievably sick of it.
I think what Destiny did as a whole, I think, was innovative with the way it was, like, instead of it being, it wasn't an MMO. They didn't set out for it to be an MMO. They wanted to do what Destiny turned into is what they wanted it to be. It's like a shared world RPG shooter.
Game-based shooter.
Yeah.
It was nothing RPG about it.
No, yeah. Really. The only thing that, I mean, you do level and you do build a class and you decide how that class evolves kind of based on what you do with the class. One more time.
The classes are not nearly different enough.
Well, that's something we could also add, that maybe, I know the classes are all the same, but I want to see a rework to Ultimates, maybe change up some of the abilities that you learn. You could keep Warlock and all that other stuff and Hunter and Titan, but maybe add either 3 entirely new abilities or like a fourth.
Change your weapon loadouts, make a type of weapon that only Hunters use, a type of weapon that only Titans use, a type of weapon that only Warlocks use, multiple types of weapons. Create armors that do more than just give you a little fucking benefits here and there. Like, follow what they do with Elder Scrolls and Final Fantasy Online and World of Warcraft Online. There's generic armors, true, but then there's a lot of armors that provide vastly different stat boosts. Vastly. Separate the Warlock and the for instance, if you're going to sit there and go, okay, it doesn't matter what class you can play, you all use the 5 classes of weapons or whatever. I know they set out to do that for a reason, whatever, but I want to see a completely different experience, or at least 75%. I want 75% of playing a Titan to be completely unlike playing a Hunter, to be completely unlike playing a Warlock. Because to date, the only thing that's different for me is your special is different, and then your grenades are a little bit different, and your jumps are slightly different. The Hunter's the only one that has a significantly different jump. The Titan and the Warlock are way too similar.
Yeah,
and they're just not. It's too much, man. They just did not feel different.
I'd like to see unique weapons. Maybe that'd be pretty cool. Or something I always thought was weird that they never had was like a set bonus. So like if you had a full set of armor, it would provide a distinct bonus to you as a character. I always thought that would be cool, and I always enjoyed that as a whole in games. They don't even have to do like the 2-3-5 thing or like a 3-5-7 thing. Just do, like, if you have an entire set equipped on your character, you get a special ability that helps you in one way or another. I want them to
those abilities.
I like because I feel like that would add an additional level on top of exotics, because exotics are technically, they provide that bonus, but they're only on one piece. I think it'd be cool if you could have exotic bonuses on top of like an armor bonus, or even like a set of weapons bonus, like maybe where like there's this one set where it's like a auto rifle, sniper, machine gun, and they're all part of the same set. And if you have that set equipped, like, it will change something about your gameplay style. And I think that would be cool. I want them to get more unique with the weapons in general. I don't want like the same list of exotics. I want more exotics. I want exotics that actually do something like helpful. that isn't like a little shitty passive you get, which was a lot of the armor exotics. And I understand they're trying not to make you too strong as a character.
More than one exotic, but you took negatives for doing it. Like you would get the special the exotic comes with, but in the process, like you get negatives for every additional exotic you equip. There's a negative that comes with it. That would add a layer of strategy to choosing exotics. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I'd also I don't know. I just want to see the last 2 years of Destiny, but more open, more diversity amongst the game as a whole. I don't want to see like cool environmental design in just the raids. I want it to be a part of the game as a whole.
Yeah, dude. Why could that be so hard? Seriously. You could save your best set pieces for raids, but all right, for instance, dude, that one mission where you're running across the mountaintops, especially that part where you got that long ridge from the trailer where you're walking on the snow and the wind's blowing it off. That was a normal level.
Oh yeah. That was one of the story missions for Rise of Iron. Again,
fucking story mission.
Like I said, they are. The last 2 years, they were getting better. You see Destiny Bungie learning from, they're taking advice from the community, like more set piece moments and levels. They're doing that. They're throwing that in. Like the whole fight, although it was a very, one thing, longer campaigns, obviously, because the last Rise of Iron campaign was like 4 missions long and you're done with it. And it's like a DLC you spent money on. I understand a lot of it comes from grinding, getting the new weapon pieces and stuff like that. But I want longer campaigns too as well. So like Rise of Iron was really cool, the story that they set out, but there wasn't enough of it. Like we've said before, I want to see like that last mission where you're like running into the tomb, you fight off the monsters with the axe and you're running out as everything's exploding. That was really cool. You felt like you were doing something. You felt like you were actually affecting the universe. But again, you did it in 4 missions, so it kind of you feel that it was rushed and you feel like there's not enough, and it kind of takes away from that whole badass feeling that you just did when you're like, wow, I did that in like a Sunday afternoon kind of thing. So I want to see more from the campaigns in general. I want to see longer campaigns. And again, this is all stuff that I feel they'll eventually get to. But I want to see just more. That's like the key word of tonight's or today's topic is I want to see more of what they're doing right and less of what they're doing wrong, which is the most generic fucking thing you can say about any video game ever. But it makes so much sense in this situation when it comes to Destiny, because they're doing a really good job. They just need to do a better job, and I have faith in Bungie as a whole to do that. So I'm really excited to see where they move going forward. Again, Destiny 2's, when does Destiny 2 come out? It's like September something?
September, yeah.
Okay, so looking forward to that. I've yet to pre-order it, but I'll eventually get around to it because I want to try the beta out and see what it looks like. We also, on May 18th, I think, so in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be getting a gameplay reveal. So we'll get to see a bit more of that. I don't know what they're going to show. They might show a story mission. We might get to see some of the environmental design, see what the game looks like, if it's what it runs at, and all that stuff. So I'm excited.
Yeah, the whatchamacallit comes out in a few months, the beta or whatnot.
Yeah, that too. So
the closed beta.
The thing is, you need to like
signed up.
Yeah, you think you need to like pre-order but I usually pre-order my games through Amazon because I save money if you're a Prime member. But I don't know if they'll like send me a code for the beta. I don't know how the hell that works. I don't know.
You have to go to the Bungie website with your code and sign in with that.
Okay, I'll have to figure that out. But so yeah, that's pretty much our thoughts about what we want to see in the next Destiny. I know that topic was kind of short, but we did spend a long time. There was a lot of news. There's a lot of news that came out over the last week, especially as we get closer to E3. There's going to be more things being revealed. We have announcement season right around the corner. We're going to be seeing a lot of games being announced. Some things we're going to might be seeing new IPs hit hit for the first time. So there's definitely a lot of hype around this season for gamers in general. So I'm excited to see what's coming in the next couple weeks. So that was episode 3 of the Thought Patrol podcast. Thank you all for tuning in with us, chilling with us, spending some time with your good old friends Kyle and Shawn, and our cynical selves as we discuss just video games in general. Thank you again, Shawn, for spending time with me. I'm trying to get more hosts. I'm trying to get more people to come on, talk with us, so you don't just got to listen to our old crotchety selves talk every time. And
young crotchety self.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. And I'm trying to get more voices in here, more opinions in here, because it will make for a more enjoyable podcast. And we're also working on getting everything on actual podcasting services, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Audio Boom, stuff like that. So we're working on getting that, so you guys don't have to come to YouTube to watch us, because I know it's a pain in the ass to sit there and watch a 2-hour YouTube video, especially the way YouTube works on mobile, where you can't even lock your phone and listen to shit. You have to leave your phone unlocked. So I appreciate everyone that does listen. I appreciate everyone that leaves their likes, their comments, or we haven't really gotten a comment, but if you feel like we suck, you don't agree with anything we have to say, you hate our guts or something, let us know. Leave a comment down in the video. We'd love to hear from you, even if it's about your ever-loving hate of us as people in general. And if
you let Kyle know, because I know y'all bitches love me.
So I just God damn, this shit, it doesn't get easier, because you're trying to think of stuff to talk, and you're talking, and you're trying to be entertaining at the same time. It's not I don't know how people do it, but again, we'll get better as we continue. More people definitely in the pot would help. I'm working on getting Antony to do it weekly. He was here last week, and if he shows me some form of commitment, I'll be getting him a mic, so it won't be both of us crowded around a microphone. So again,
it's snuggle time.
Yeah. So that was the 3rd episode. Again, thank you all for joining us, and you all have a fantastic day.
Yep. 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 Yep.